and Tony show.
Yeah.
I'm Eric. This is Tony.
I'm Tony.
Hey.
It's Mark that's always there, even though his name isn't on the podcast.
Hello.
And we have a special guest, Joe Seabe, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Joe Seabe.
So nice to be here with you guys. Wonderful, really.
Joe, why don't you introduce yourself? You know, a little bit about yourself, how you came to know this goofy group of guys.
Just a little bit,
here.
though.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Without getting too in depth, because it could.
That
take
was
the whole-
great. That was great.
I was born
That's fantastic. That's Joe. Everybody. Joe
in
Seabe,
New
everybody.
Jersey.
Yeah. I was born in a shed in New Jersey, and then I learned how to walk.
Lightning struck, thunder rolled.
Yeah.
Joe was born.
Joe Seabe was born.
He was born
Shred to God.
at the age of 5. Came
I was
out
born
5
at
years
5
old.
years old. Yes, I was never an infant.
I was born at 5.
Knew how to walk and talk.
Just came out full on Joe Seabe, guitar player.
I went straight to kindergarten from
Coffee,
there.
straight black. No,
From the hospital to kindergarten.
with a guitar in his hand.
Yeah.
Right.
No, my name is Joe Seabe. I am a lover of music and lover of arts, all the arts, from acting, dance, everything, you name it. I love it.
He's being modest. He's a musical genius. And,
No.
Joe, you forgot stand up. Thanks.
Yes. Also one of the
I hate
funniest people.
stand-up.
No, I met these guys through my work when they were under management with Megan Slickus, who is married to the owner of Performing Arts Studio West, John Pazis, who's one of my dearest friends and a sweet human being.
Performing Arts is an amazing place. Nobody knows about it.
Lord's work.
Yeah.
I know we talk shit about Shriners Kids on here the last like 4 or 5 podcasts, but it is one of the happiest places that I've ever been. It really is. It's like you go there and people are open arms. They give you a hug. They know your name, and they're just the most genuine people. Just imagine the documentary show Love on the Spectrum. It's like that, but working there. It's absolutely amazing.
It really is. I mean, the first time I went there I was there with Lance and Christine, who were working there, and I had a recording studio in Culver City called LPJ Entertainment with Laurie Grant and Peter Kolvicki, and that's where LPJ came from. I was the J in LPJ, and we had a recording studio where we wrote songs and produced artists, and had a lot of fun there. That went for about 6 years before Laurie and Peter were in a relationship, and when they went south, so did the business.
Right.
And
Often happens.
Yes,
you don't want to
it
mix
does.
Relationships and business is never a good mixture.
No, it's not.
keep
Not
that
always.
separate.
I mean, some people are really good about keeping things separate, and they were for a long time. It was really workable. It was really fun. We had a lot of great times together, but things when they went bad, they went bad.
You were in like a pretty big band back in the day, hair metal. I guess you call it hair metal. Or no?
We didn't call it that then, because then it was just what was popular.
fucking metal.
Yeah, it was just, hard rock and heavy metal. Yeah, I was in a band called Sick Vicky, who ended up getting a record deal. We were managed by Kiss's manager, Bill Aucoin. We met him through a guy who was working with us named Nash Cohen. We met Bill from him because Bill and Nash knew each other from New York days way back. And he introduced us to Bill, and Bill loved us, thought we were really good and loved what we did, and just thought we had a good look and a good sound. And he just wanted to make us the next like arena band, and that was his goal. He was like, I really want to get you guys a deal. And he did. I mean, he ended up getting us a deal. We ended up doing a record company showcase for every single label out there at that time. Probably about 86. We did like 6 matinees in New York City at SIR Studios about 9, because we did 3 matinees per day, and we were there Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So when you were starting out doing like your music and all of a sudden you have these interests and labels and whatnot, was that something that you anticipated and wanted to try to do, like as a musician starting out? Were you like in your head where you're like, I want to be in a signed band, I want to tour the world? Like, did you have these goals set, or like have a mindset of like what you wanted to accomplish, or how you thought, you know, your future would go as far as musically, or what specifically that you wanted to do?
Well, there was never like a, you know, I mean, I guess, you know, everybody that you talked to at the time was like, yeah, we're going to try to get a record deal. We're going to try to get this. We're going to play these gigs. Like, it started out with us just in the basement, in a garage, just bashing it, you know, and just
like
people
traditional.
Like, you know, I'm on guitar, the drummer's there, this guy's here. You know, we were just writing shit, you know, there. Like, I wasn't
making
writing
TikToks?
songs at home.
Making TikToks?
Yeah, like, yeah, well, this is way pre-TikToks.
What was the equivalent of
VHS
TikTok?
tax. Yeah.
But we were just having fun in the
tapes.
garage. Yeah. Yeah.
Making
tick
tick
tapes.
tapes.
We were making tick tapes back then, yeah.
AKA demos.
Yeah, 16-track tick tapes, you know, because we didn't have 24 tracks yet. It was just, you know, like little project 16-track studios. No digital back then. It was just audio, real audio. When you cut a tape.
No auto-tune.
Yeah, no auto-tune. No, you had to.
Just the real shit.
You had to sing it 5-10 times because Nick the Dia would be going, no, one more, go ahead. Just, I'll loop it.
Just do it again, but like better and on key and
Like
not
you're actually
bad.
trying.
Yeah, not like you're just phoning
Like
it
it
in
matters,
from
yeah.
some basement. Just do it real. So, yeah. So, you know, we had a guy who was a neighbor of mine who loved music, had the biggest record collection I've ever seen in my life, Mark Cooperman, and he like assumed the role of our booking agent, and he would just like get us booked all these places, and he got us on these like opening for Cinderella, open up for Britney Fox, like all these big bands, these bands that just got record deals, and we're opening for them, and he's the one that would get us all these gigs, and we didn't really do like, because we were still doing covers and originals, and
Okay, so you guys kind of went that. A lot of bands I feel do that, where they like, you know, you play a cover to kind of attract the audience, and then you kind of do like the switcheroo on them, like, oh yeah, this next song isn't a cover, it's an original.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like gauge it and see how they like it. It's kind of a good way to like have their attention and like.
oh, absolutely. And you know, and the Galaxy was one of the first clubs we played, and that's where Cinderella was the house band there. They were like the house group.
Okay.
So, and they would go on at midnight every.
This is in Philly.
This is in Philly and Jersey. The Galaxy's in Somerdale, New Jersey. That was the club. And like, it was always packed. You couldn't.
What's the music scene like in Philly compared to like, you've played shows with me out here?
Yeah.
And obviously different time, but like the audience, how would they respond like to bands in general? Like, were they like, Philly's a tough place. Philly's
Yeah.
like no joke. It's like, fuck you if they're gonna speak their mind.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
gonna tell you, you know, and that's
Sometimes you're playing for a bunch of guys that think they're rock stars like this with their arms folded, like, impress me.
yeah.
That seems like LA too, though. LA is like the worst audiences ever because it's oversaturated by entertainment. So you can see any show at any point in time. but
True.
Yeah.
Most times you go to any concert, it doesn't matter who the fuck it is. Everyone's just kind of sitting there like, well, we got dinner reservations. There's always something.
Like, I'm gonna
bigger.
go see
Yeah.
Beyonce tomorrow at this time at this club.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
last minute Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah,
Jump over and
exactly.
watch Kanye.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
But-
right.
but
I got
you know-
Kanye tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, then I'll just catch him next week or whatever it is.
Whereas
you know,
like
so.
smaller markets like Philly, Milwaukee, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, that is the thing that's on your map for like the calendar.
It's the event. It's like
Yeah.
the only
Thing I'm doing.
event.
Can't wait this year. This is happening. You know?
Exactly.
Which is interesting because like Philly, I feel it's like more of it's the main event, but also like if you don't deliver, they will let you know at the main event.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like they'll be
Well,
like,
it's working class money though. It's like they spend money. They want to be fucking entertained. You
Oh,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like that's the thing. If
Is
you-
that Bill Burr, where Bill Burr had his moment? Was it Philly?
yeah.
yeah, he's got a. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
fucking
One, the comeback
best
that he
part.
I
did.
remember that. I
It's
saw
like
that.
your fucking your what is it? Your town is based off of fictional fucking character or some shit.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
Rocky
Rocky
doesn't
is-
even exist.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys got fucking statues of this
It's
guy
like,
never even existed.
6 more minutes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that was
That's
great.
just
Yeah.
so
So
fucking
good.
funny.
Yeah, Philly's tough. I mean, you know, but you got people that love music so much that like, you know, I noticed, you know, for every rock star wannabe guy with his arms folded, you also have 10 people that love music and love what you're doing, and they come up to you afterwards and say, Man, I love that. That was great, you know. And we were making a dent on the scene. We were making a dent on the scene. But what really changed it was when we got on the radio. We got to be guest hosts on the biggest rock station in Philadelphia, which is WISP and WMMR.
Shout out WISP. Do you still out there?
94 WISP and 93.3. You know, and they played us on K Rock in New York.
Oh no shit!
Yeah, so we were played on K Rock. The Friday Morning Quarterback, which was a news publication, started talking about us because a good friend of ours worked there, and he was the head writer. He was also a fan of the band, and so he was giving us this great write-up, and that's where Kurt Loder talked about us on MTV.
No way. That's fucking cool.
Because he was reading from the Friday Morning Quarterback.
Interesting. Wow.
So like the MTV news would come from the Friday Morning Quarterback.
I would think too, like any like interviewer or reporter within the music industry, if they are getting information from Philly and that it's saying good things, it's like, oh, okay, they must be legit, because they would say like, this is a trash ass band, or this is like, don't even worry about like, but they're getting that confirmation from a place that's so tough to get recognition in. I think it is even more so than like, you know, anywhere else, just because it's such like a tough place. It
really is. Yeah. But, you know, I'll never forget, never forget this as long as I live. We did the show on WISP. We were the guest host. People phoned in, called us. We played our music on there. People were asking us questions on the air. And then this was like a Thursday night. Saturday night, we played the Empire Rock Club, which is a big, big venue in Philadelphia. All national artists played there. It was all nationals. Like Guns N' Roses played there. Like, and so my car was on the fritz, like it was many times back in them days. So my mom literally gave me a ride to the studio, to the club. She was coming anyway to the show, but she's like, I'll drop you off. And so we pull into the parking lot, and there's a Kmart in that parking lot, and then there's a club called HB's, and then the Empire. They were like, the front door of HB's was like this, and the Empire was like this. Then there's a giant parking lot, and then over here is Kmart. So we pull into the parking lot, and there's a fucking line going from the Empire all the way to the Kmart.
No way.
Yeah, and this was after the radio interview. So
what did you feel like?
I'm like,
what the fuck?
I'm like, who the fuck are all these people here for?
Wow.
And my mom's like,
Your mom's dropping you off like, Joey, don't forget your lunch.
yeah. My mom's like, don't forget your corn chips, you know. All right, Mom, thanks.
I love you. Give me a kiss real quick.
Mom, not in front of the people.
Wipe the lipstick off your cheek.
Come on, Mom.
Not in front of my fans, Mom.
Come on, Mom. My fans think I'm gay now, or low budget.
None of that's a bad thing.
Yeah. No, I was only kidding. You know, it's a term we used when we were little kids, but it's
means
not
happy.
Yeah, it means happy, right? But yeah, my mom's like, "Oh my God, are all these people here to see you guys?" And I'm like, "Well, we're not opening for anybody tonight." So it was our headline tonight, you know, and it was like there was other bands on the bill, but we were the main band to see that night, and from that night on, it just became like bigger. Like it was.
That's crazy.
It was bigger. Like radio is so powerful. It really is.
That was like the number one. That was the only thing you had then. Really,
You didn't have social media.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so people. And then our manager, well, the guy who was booking us, when I said it was my childhood friend, Mark Cooperman, he was so smart. He would just book the living crap out of us. He would call you. He wouldn't even say hi. He'd just go, "You got a pen?" Yeah. Write these dates down. And it would be like date after date after date.
No way.
We'd have like 2 days off. It was just like bang, 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 bang. 2 days off. Bang, 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 you know?
How do you feel that like progressed you as a player, having that consistency in playing, not only
Still
like,
get nervous.
not only playing, but like, still getting probably nervous, but like every single day playing your guitar, but then also playing a complete show, which is probably like an hour show.
23 songs.
Yeah,
Wow.
23
shit.
23 songs with.
Because I remember when we first met you,
That's
we would do
ridiculous.
videos and stuff. Like, hey, Joe, can you play the solo again? You play exactly the same every single time. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting a different camera angle, and it's like exactly right every time. Like,
There's
God
definitely
damn.
something to be said about like artists that have done that, and I've never been able to. I've not yet experienced that of like playing every single day or playing shows and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Usually it's like one a week or whatever when I was playing a lot. And you could always tell right away the people you play with, such as yourself. When I met you for the first time, I was like, "Oh, this guy, what the fuck he's doing?"
Eric, this is a real musician.
Well, no, you know what it
I'm
is?
like, all the chord names.
Eric, get your pen. Write this down.
Well, it was funny because when Bill Coyne came into the picture, Bill came in one night when we headlined the Empire, and we did 3 encores that night.
Wow.
Like literally 3 encores. And we're backstage, and the backstage is packed with people trying to get in to talk to us and hang out. And Bill comes in. He goes, "I want everybody to get out. I want everybody out." So we had to kick everybody out. My mom even too. Mom, you got to go.
He's like, "Joey, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
lunch.
Your Doritos.
The crust is cut off. Just
I'm
like,
hungry, Mom.
Leave my PB&J.
Yeah.
you're embarrassing me.
Mom, Bill Coyne's here.
Not in front of Bill.
I mean, he's put Kiss on the map, Mom. So he's like, he said to it, and he was so like, Bill was the nicest guy in the world, and he can make you feel like the most important person that ever walked the planet. But he wanted to like knock us down a few pegs for, I don't know, whatever reason. I guess it was part of his plan to build us up or whatever. But he's like, "You call that a show?" That's what he said.
Oh my God.
You call that
great
a
opener.
show? You call that a show? He goes, "I didn't want to embarrass you in front of your friends and family, but I want."
Sounds
that's
like
why
my dad.
No way.
Yeah. And he goes, "Right now, you're a walking cliche."
Wow.
He goes, "But we're gonna fix that." He goes, "I want everybody here to quit their jobs and meet me tomorrow at the rehearsal studio." He booked a rehearsal studio in called RPM Studios downtown in Philly. He said, "We're meeting there every fucking day, and we're gonna work on the best shit, the best material. Then we're gonna go in the studio. We're gonna record that. But you guys, meanwhile, are gonna rehearse every fucking day."
Wow.
And I'm not kidding you. He said, like, I remember like almost losing my shit, but like biting my lip because I knew he doesn't take shit. He doesn't take shit. And what happened was like one of us fucked up one of the songs, and he goes, "Back to one."
Oh, it's like a coach. Like,
Yeah.
kind of like, "Oh, yeah, anybody fucks up, y'all gotta run."
Yeah.
Like that kind of a thing.
And like we had to, he goes, "Intro, go, intro." And we're like on song 21 or some
No,
shit.
you had to start from the whole back of the set, not the song, like the whole fucking set.
From the
Yeah.
beginning, intro.
Dude, but that's
Yeah, it's like to say, yeah. it's
We
like
were
training.
mad though. Like we're like everyone, you could see everyone's face was like
Yeah.
everybody was seething, and like when he would go to the bathroom or something, people were like, "Who the fuck does he think he is?" Like doing it, like what the fuck, like people getting pissed,
yeah.
And then when he come in, we're all smiles because we're like,
Hey, Bill,
Yeah.
just putting on the second coat now.
we're so happy we're doing the set again for the 9th time.
I was
'cause
hoping we could do it again.
yeah. But like when he would leave, we'd have a
mess it on purpose.
we'd have a Kill Bill fest,
Yeah, for sure.
But
You didn't realize at the time that he was just like sharpening the blade. He was just like,
yeah,
making you
like
guys
you didn't.
killers.
We didn't know. I mean, we didn't know. And then one night we were playing at this club. What the hell? The Chestnut Cabaret. We opened for Extreme, the band Extreme.
Yeah.
And these guys came up that were from guitar companies. One was from a guitar company. One was from a drum company, Jackson Guitars, and they approached me about an endorsement. And so I'm like talking to these guys, and I see Bill giving me these dirty looks, and then he walks over. He's like, "Can I help anybody over here?" Oh. And they're like, "Yeah, hi, I'm with Jackson Guitars. I'm like so and so, and this is my friend from Tama Drums." And he's like, oh, okay. He goes, well, I'm the manager of the band, so if you want to talk to anybody, talk to me. And then Bill comes over afterward. He goes, listen, anyone comes to you to try to talk you up anything, refer them to come see me.
He was
I'll talk through you. He's like, I'm not trying to control. He goes, listen, I know what they're trying to do. They're, you know, and I've been through all this.
Right.
You know? And so I just, you know, we just learned to just refer to Bill.
Yeah, which is great if you can trust somebody like that.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean?
And
You
he
need that.
was.
Yeah.
I mean, he, you know, he got Kiss signed on a handshake. He literally did. Like when
Pretty strong handshake.
Yeah. Well, when Gene Simmons,
Like, do it again, handshake again. From the beginning.
From the beginning, a little firmer. Come on, firmer.
Come on, doing it right.
Yeah.
Call that a fucking handshake?
You call that a hand? Yeah. That's
Shaking
the
hands never got
weakest,
signed.
crappiest handshake I ever had. But you know, when Bill Aucoin first was approached by Gene Simmons sent him letter after letter after letter because Bill Aucoin had a show called Flipside on New York. Like it was like a Dick Clark kind of a show, and people would dance on there. They'd listen to
like that,
music, you know. And he was, you know, and that's why Gene was like, we need to talk to him, you know. So Gene finally, Bill agreed to meet Gene in person. And then he said, you know, when he met the band, he thought the band had a lot of potential. He thought they were raw and they were a little, you know, not, they wanted to be big, but they didn't know what to do yet.
Right.
They knew they wanted to be like, have a stage show and like, they wanted to be like 4 stars, like the Beatles. But like, they loved Alice Cooper and they loved the theatrics of Alice Cooper's. And their idea was like, we want to be like 4 Alice Coopers.
Okay, that makes
You know,
sense.
you know, in fact, they came to the Tower Theater in Philadelphia to see Alice Cooper when they were still rehearsing in that loft in New York City. They came to Philly.
So a lot of like Kiss's elements, you feel like, because I know you're a big fan of Kiss too,
Yeah.
and follow Alice Cooper. Do you think a lot of that like influence crossed over into Kiss's theatrics on stage, or a lot of that stuff?
yeah.
Like it's like, do you any specific pieces that you see him actually taking from like Alice Cooper specifically?
Not Alice Cooper specifically, but like, you know what they would do, and they did it with us too. They would film. They'd have cameras on tripods like this when we were at RPM Studios, and Bill would say, "All right, intro, start the intro," and we'd have a fog machine, and we were playing the intro, but we weren't on stage. The only one that was on stage was the drummer. He was behind the kit. You couldn't see him because he was covered in fog and smoke. So we'd start the intro, and then halfway through the intro, we'd come out. And then, you know, we'd be on stage, but we'd be playing it backstage on wireless, you know, and then we'd come out. And that was all Bill, and then Bill would say, you know, I like when you did this, and then we'd watch the video later. He'd say, you see that thing you just did? I like that. Do that bigger, bigger, do it more, like bigger, like, you know, when you bring your arm down, like bring your guitar up like this and hold it up, you know, and then like Richie would come between me and Pat and grab the necks of our guitars and stand there like this, you know, like
dope.
just stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like exaggerating the performance to actually make it a show. That's gonna be,
right.
Then we learned how to like spin our guitars too. Like, oh my God, like that was scary because the first time I did it, I had a strap that was like rough leather on one side and smooth on the other side. And I had strap locks on the guitar, and I went like this to throw the guitar, and it went like this and came down on my head.
No.
He's like, see how when you did that? I love that. People loved when you were bleeding.
Yeah, like, are you bleeding?
Here he had 3 students.
Do that again.
Yeah, I had a bandmate in the past that was trying to do that, and he had a farm, and he'd practice, and he's like, yeah, I was practicing all day, and I fucking tried doing the thing, and it flung off of him, and it stuck in the ground. The head of his guitar stuck in the ground. He's like, yeah, fucking stuck in the ground, man.
Was this your metal band?
No, this is back in Wisconsin.
Oh, because what was really fascinating, I remember when you guys first met and did like the first acoustic thing, because Eric had just gotten his guitar. He's like, yeah, I met this guy Joe, and he's fucking great, and we just been playing. And the first video was like, holy shit! Like a lot of people, they wait. It takes them years and maybe never find someone that can, you know, is a good match for like you know, a duo going out, and you guys already like hit the ground running. It was like, holy shit. It was like 2 weeks before that, I was like, "Oh, Eric, you sing?" And and now I have a band, and now we're ready to play.
Well, our chemistry was definitely like undeniable. I mean,
you guys came from you were doing metal in San Diego, right?
Yeah.
And then you were doing metal, and then you guys came to sing.
Well, I met him after, because I had like a stint of maybe like 4 years where I wasn't really doing anything with music. Kind of was like, all right, I'm just gonna kind of take a little break, and I kind of do that throughout the years. I kind of get like I fall in love with music all over again a lot. And so when Tony and I had been signed to the agency that he works with, that predominantly works with people with disabilities, which Tony and I fit in perfectly with. They were branching out and trying to sign other artists or
non-disabled actors.
Non-disabled actors.
They have two branches of management.
And so that's where I came in, and I was down there, like Tony and I were taking like little classes down there and going over lines and stuff. And then I was like, "Oh, you guys have a recording studio here?" I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And then I'd poke my head in, like, "Hey man, what's going on? What's your name?"
He's just spinning his guitar around.
Yeah, practicing.
I was practicing my spin.
Practicing a spin. What are you doing there? Practicing.
Almost got it.
Yeah.
I'll get it next time.
And then I was like, "Hey, like, what you working on?" And then like just kind of, became friends with Joe. And then I was like, "Hey, like you want to write a song or do some shit?"
Yeah.
And I had kind of the itch because I hadn't done anything for a while.
And
he's like the best person to ever work with. Like just
thank
very
you too, man.
open to ideas. Way more than I am. He works with people great. I'm very like kind of like, I'm like too much of a control freak.
Yeah,
but
you
Joe,
suck. You suck.
I do.
No.
But Joe is like,
awesome.
he's very, very good.
He adds to it and can bring something
and
great
he's-
out of you.
And he's like, "What do you
Well,
think?"
the harmonizing too with vocals and guitars, plus also too the fact that you're a lefty. When you guys play, that was always something that's fucking magical. Where it's like you guys both guitars pointing in opposite directions,
That's
harmonizing
true.
vocals.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys used to harmonize? I don't remember. You guys want to maybe throw
we
something
did.
down?
We did those harmonies back in them days.
Well, it's funny. I posted a video recently, like the latest video I did for Audio Underdog.
Yeah.
And my mom, she's always been a fan of anything that I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, how did you like the video and the song or whatever?" And she's like, it was good, but not great. And like,
It's like if garbage was music.
She's like, "Yeah, I think you could do better," and and all this stuff. And I'm like, she loved the stuff that we did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Everyone loved the stuff that you. You
Always
guys are
loved the
great,
stuff.
honestly.
Thank you.
And I'm like, it's not. There's no Joe there. There's no. And then also my guitar playing is absolute trash.
No,
for everybody
it's
watching.
not. No.
But it's more. It's definitely there. That I don't know how to play guitar well.
Oh, no,
and so
that's
Joe
not
would cover me a lot when we're playing. Like I would mess up chords, and he would just be like, and just like do some solo and like make it sound good, and or like I would just forget a part of the song because I couldn't literally. Physically didn't know how to play a part of the song, so he would just kind of cover for me. But he was always just like always a great great bandmate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you too, man. I mean, it was there was definitely a sound that we created, and even other people like. People we respected, like Casey Abrams and Aaron Willett, and people like I'll never forget
Angel
that
Taylor,
night.
yeah.
Angel Taylor. I mean, I'll never forget the night we played at Room 5, and Casey Abrams literally ran after me, and he goes, "Joe, you and Eric are like, I love you guys. I love you guys."
Hey, we got Mike.
Hey.
On the mic with Mike.
On the mic.
Off the mic with Mike.
Off the mic with Mike.
Off the mic, yeah.
For everyone watching out here, we have a good friend of ours back
Special
from
guest
Wisconsin.
visitor.
Special guest number 2. He's
Nice.
He's in
Mike,
in
you want a
town
beer?
for a
We got
couple
some
days.
Modelo's in the fridge.
Yeah, we got some beers in the fridge for you. He's
So,
off
yeah, bottle of it.
camera, but we'll be referencing him and say hi. Say hi if you want. So
There
everybody
you
can
are.
see who you are. Any of the cameras.
Hey. Camera 1, camera 2.
Joe, something that I always thought was cool about you guys playing. I tell Eric this all the time because, like, I think Robin, the two of you and Robin, they're like, there's a few people you see in this town because it's oversaturated with like artists and stuff.
Yeah.
That people will stop and like, what is that angelic sound? And it's like a siren song. Well, people will come seek it out. And you guys were doing the Place of the Grove. That's the upstairs restaurant thing. It was a bar show.
Mixology.
Yeah, mixology.
Mixology, yeah.
Little residence.
And I remember we were you guys were already playing. I got there late, and I was sitting kind of off the stairwell, and I saw people come like, "Who is this? Is live music?" Like it was like people were so intrigued by the sound they came out to see it, and that's something that you guys always have, even when you're on a stacked bill, and then people are chattering. But the second you guys start playing, it would silence the room, and people would give you your devout attention.
Yeah, that was a great feeling. I mean, just like I said, like when people like Aaron Willett came up to me and Eric after our show, or Casey Abrams came running after me going down the stairs, he like just said, "I just want you guys to know, I mean, you and Eric, I really love your music. I'm really a fan of it." Like, that was Casey. Like,
yeah.
And I said,
and those are people that were like, I always looked up to them vocally. Like, I was like, wow, your ability is like, you're doing gymnastics, and I'm just doing like hopscotch over here. Like,
solid somersault.
Yeah. Like, watch this cartwheel. I really nailed it this time.
It was funny.
It was this very,
It was funny because my mom like always watched American Idol, and I said to my mom, and I told Casey this. I said, I'm not really a big American Idol or like a Voice fan because I like the more organic approach, like bands going out. And
like voice competition. I remember you always saying like, if the Beatles were on The Voice, they'd fucking like, they'd lose, you know? Like, they wouldn't win a fucking thing.
Or like America's Got Talent's like, well, how'd you do last night, dude? Oh, I lost to the poodle. The fucking poodle, man. He
went through the flaming.
It was going so good till that fucking poodle got on the tricycle, man. And I lost, It's like, that's so not in the, like.
Yeah, I always feel weird when people like would say to us or, hey, you guys should go on this Voice. And I'd be like, it's hard to kind of give them your opinion of that show when they are complimenting you or trying to
plus
say
those
something
people were
nice.
on those shows too, so like Aaron,
not necessarily
Casey,
those
they're all
people,
from
but
those.
maybe people that weren't on it or like family members.
I would never do
like
that trash show.
Well, no,
it's just kind of a weird
the point I was trying to make was, I said to Casey, I said, my mom loves you, and I said, and you were the only person on that season that I thought was hands down the best person, because my mom said, Joey, are you watching American Idol? I said, Mom, I don't really like religiously watch it, but I'm aware of the people that are on there. I said, the only person I really think is the main guy out of every single person is Casey Abrams, because he plays instruments, he sings, he can play piano.
Yeah, he plays like every instrument.
Yeah, he plays everything.
And that was when I think they just started allowing people to play instruments. And Casey came on. He was like the first person to be saved
he had the
on there as
upright bass.
well.
He was one of them,
So they introduced like new rules, but that was a really interesting time too, because I was doing my AfterBuzz TV for American Idol and The Voice.
Remember that.
And then so I would we had Casey on. That was the first time I met him. We interviewed him from I don't know if it was his season or like the season afterwards.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, also we knew some music showcases and stuff. And then he already had met like Angel at Room 5 and all of that. So it was like a really cool like revolving door of like just artists, interviewing and then them playing and then us doing the show and all that stuff. It was a cool time.
The Cork show you had was pretty sweet too, because it was a music comedy split, and it was like, again too, like I don't think the people at that diner in the middle of Sherman Oaks knew what the fuck they were walking into.
That was fun though.
It was amazing, but there was like legit like solid Voice or American Idol acts.
Yeah.
It was
in this hole in the wall.
Hey, Mark,
exactly.
we gotta give our hats off to you, because you've been fucking
dude.
doing the shit forever, dude. And you always motivate us to kind of keep pushing ourselves, or like.
And the reason why we're here right now, man.
And always welcomed us on your nights.
Yeah, you really
phenomenal. And I mean, so appreciate that. I really do.
Oh, absolutely. Everything really fell into place at that time, because I had just started working at the. I'd gone to the Cork for a music showcase. They liked my presence on stage, and afterwards they were like, "Do you want to do an open mic here?" And I was like, "Okay." Then the open mic turned into like a few good artists, and then I would we would do open mic and then do a music showcase afterwards, and then it just became a music showcase. Then I went to the Parlor, and then they had like a horrible show, and I was like, damn, if I did a show here, we could make it way better.
Yeah.
And then Tony and I like went in there, we were figuring that whole thing out. Yeah, and then
Singing Saturdays
happened. But they were like doing 2 nights a week, and it was like, it was a really cool time, and you guys just having really dope artists come and play, and you guys were always somebody we could lean on if somebody canceled, or just like you would play every week anyways because people loved coming to see.
We loved it
play.
too. It was so fun. It really was.
Even as like an artist playing those shows, or even if doing stand up and stuff for you, like on those shows, I was always excited to go to the show because I was like, this is going to be a good show. Like, it's going to be cool. Like, even if I fucking suck tonight, like there's going to be some cool shit that, like, you probably have to go, like, if it was in a smaller town, you'd have to go pay and see that person. And they're just, like, hanging out, just playing their jams and stuff.
I have a video. Cool. There's an artist, Phoebe Bridgers, out now. I don't know if you guys have heard of her stuff. You definitely have heard her at one of the shows. She played one night at the Cork Lounge. Like Angel was like, yeah, come through here. And she was with this band called Buster. And they came in.
Guitar?
They played, it was her and then two dudes. And then they might have played acoustic or they're all playing electric. But I have like a 15-second clip when you could just first put video on Instagram. And I was like, okay, cool. And then like 7 years later, I see a tweet from Elton John. He's like, if Phoebe Bridgers doesn't win a Grammy, I'm gonna punch somebody. And I'm like, wait a second. And then scrolled back 5 years. And I'm like,
my God.
holy shit. And people are going crazy over her. I'm like, oh yeah, she's, I remember at that time they were talking about the deal that they were about to get and stuff. And just to see all those great musicians, the ones that pop off, the ones that are consistently playing and stuff, it's really cool.
That's the funny thing about this town is you're on your own track, right? And all of a sudden you meet these artists and stuff like that, and all of a sudden you see them just kind of blow up in this weird thing. Because again, everyone's in it for the long haul, right? And everyone kind of pops at their own time. But I didn't even know about Phoebe Bridgers like that. Yeah.
I would say one of the coolest things too is like sometimes because you're in this town and there's a lot of celebrities everywhere all the time. They go out to bars and they hang out and they have their little routines and stuff too. We played a show once at. It was like a little like side room thing. It wasn't at the one of your. I don't know if you put the show on, but he and I played acoustic, and it was like in a half of a room, something really intimate, and Chris Farley's brother.
Oh, was that the Belmont, dude?
That was a Belmont?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And
that's we almost started doing shows there. I think we did that one.
We did like a couple practice shows or something there. And his like. Being from Wisconsin, Chris Farley is like a god. He's from Madison, Wisconsin. Yeah, Jenny Fleck. And his brother just so happened to be at the end of the bar with a buddy, and they were watching the set. And I remember in the middle of the set, I'm like, that guy looks just like fucking Chris Farley. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. And I remember him going to his buddy, and he's like, this is good. I was like, oh, this is a fucking like over any musical artist or anybody's like response to anything I've ever done. I was like, that's crazy. Like that's the closest I'll ever get because R.I.P. Farley's dead. But at the closest I could ever get to actually like playing a show or playing music for a Farley member, I was like, that's it. Like that's the shit.
Yeah, were you destroyed when he was just pointing only at Joe?
Yeah.
No.
Like he's like
short-haired guy's trash.
No, he bought us drinks afterwards. Remember?
Yeah, I wanted to buy him a beer, but he wasn't drinking beer. He was not drinking alcohol at the time, I believe, and I got him a Coke or something instead. Yeah. But I was like, that's fucking.
Yeah, he was really nice.
Yeah, I
remember that.
Like, and it looks just. Like him, like
dead,
exactly.
Because
he was because he's a comedic actor as well. He was part of that one band Together, and they like, the hardest part of breaking up is getting back your stuff.
I forgot about that.
In the 2000s.
That's funny, man.
Oh my God,
he definitely did that. That's so funny. I totally forgot about that. Together, that was like fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was like 2000s, and
that was like
TRL,
peak boy band. Yeah,
TRL. Yeah, they were just basically making fun of all the boy bands.
Boy band documentary.
Yeah.
The boy band entry.
The boy band entry. Yeah, it's pretty.
That's another. The boy band stuff.
Well, you do like so much different kinds of music. Like you have like a rock and roll metal kind of background, but the stuff that you've kind of transitioned to and you've done over the time that I've known you has literally run the gamut of like anything and everything you could think of: hip hop, blues, soul, funk, jazz, whatever, country, like pop, everything. Like,
I tried it,
which is like one of the most impressive things that like it's just like wow,
Joe said he's a lover of all arts.
Yeah,
I really am.
Except for stand up.
No, I love stand up.
First thing he said. First and foremost. I hate stand up, but I love everything else. I love me a mime. Oof.
What was that movie? What's that movie? Somebody asked me like, so what brought you out to LA? And I was like, the Barton Fink movie. I go, definitely wrestling pictures. I wanted to get in wrestling pictures.
That's what Tony would always say when we moved out here. He'd be like, yeah, when people ask what he's into, he'd always be like, yeah, man,
you gotta do out there and do sound effects.
I'm doing sound effects out here. And be like, Tony, show him your fucking sound effects.
Check this broken glass. Ready?
Yeah, like do the shittiest sound.
You want to hear?
But like I keep a straight
matrix
face,
printer?
be like, check my boy out here. Yeah.
Here's a laser gun.
Yeah.
Star Wars ain't got shit on me.
Yeah, he's getting into sound effects. That's what we moved out here for.
Are you sure that's not like a laser printer?
Do that. Yeah.
Dot matrix printers, the old one with the green and white stripes.
Oh my God,
Sound
that's
bad.
so funny.
Fucking so stupid.
You know, it's funny like that you bring that up because like people that you meet out here, it's just so crazy. Like people, like I used to go to Priscilla's coffee shop all the time in Toluca Lake, and I used to go there, and I'd end up talking to people, and and you'd start meeting people, and just you hear people's stories. This one guy, Michael Douglas, not the Mike Douglas, not the Mike Douglas talk show host of the '70s, but Michael Douglas. His father was a Foley artist at Hanna-Barbera, the Flintstones, the Jetsons, and.
What is a Foley artist?
Foley artist is a man that does the sound effects.
Oh, that's what I was out here for.
Yeah.
If only you knew what you were doing.
I want to be the guy that does the sound effects. Yeah. So
you got like the horses and all the sand and shit.
Yeah. But he told me the greatest story. He's like, when he was a little kid, his dad in the summertime would bring him to work with him to Hanna-Barbera. Imagine being like an 8-year-old kid. And your dad is the sound effects specialist.
Dude, those cartoons still hold up to this day.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And when Fred and Barney run and the bongo sounds, that's him and his dad hitting the bongos.
No shit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like I went to his house once and the whole house was cells. You know what a cartoon cell is? They were everywhere. Cells from the Flintstones, from the Jetsons. Cool. It was just like
there's so much art that is in what is it?
The world?
No, intervened or intertwined or whatever with other art that you just come across other kind of art when you're an artist, and you just can't help but kind of interact with all these people. And it's so funny how small of a
community
kind of community, that it really is. One of my guitarists in a band I had in Wisconsin, his dad was the guy that created Tony the Tiger. They're great.
Oh,
he was
really?
the designer, the artist that designed that whole thing.
Tiger.
Was the Tiger guy.
And Tony did the great part, right?
Yeah.
They're great. Why did
Now
he
I
do
know
that
it's
bandana?
Tony's audition, they're good. They're like,
They're okay.
You got one word, buddy.
They're late. Cut.
I'm never gonna get this.
They're great.
It's my name. I can't remember.
you don't need to dress. You don't need to dress up like a tiger, sir. This is like a voice audition.
Kind of
His nose
good.
is all painted. He's got the whiskers and shit. He comes in. I'm here for the audition for the Kellogg's commercial.
Oh my
Fuck's this guy?
I auditioned for Lucky Charms, but I had an Italian accent and they fired me.
Hey, Lucky Charms. Hey, they're always after my Lucky Charms. You know what I'm saying?
You remember that from
They're
Austin
like, he's
Powers?
Irish, you fucking idiot.
Remember Austin Powers? They're always after me, Lucky Charms.
yeah.
And he's like, the woman's like, it's a television commercial. And they eat the little tiny marshmallows just stuck right in the cereal.
And they think they're having fun.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm eating candy. I'm having fun.
that lady, she came to my job.
The Frau?
What's her name? Mindy Sterling. Mindy Sterling. She came and did we have this thing called the Mother Goose Reanimation Project.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah, and she was the old woman who lived in a shoe. Oh, shit. So we used her image. So she came down. We filmed her. We did all these shots of her, from different angles, and then Chardell and John together made this whole thing. There was an old woman that lived in a shoe, but it was like instead of a shoe, it was like a factory, and she's making these children.
That was like every year you guys would do just a blowout production. This crazy big production, acting, have graphic design stuff, like a movie of what you're doing in the background. It was all crazy and shit.
Sight and sound, music and everything. Yeah. And she was so funny. She is such a sweet lady, Mindy Sterling. She really is. She was a pleasure to have down there at the studio.
Yeah, you guys would get a lot of really, really cool people that were supportive of Performing Arts Studio West because of what it was. And they like I said, when you go into that place, you get this like, oh, this is genuine. This is like some of the best people in the world.
There's no ulterior motive.
Yeah, it's like so pure.
Everybody there just loves you.
You can see why, people that have success in that, acting or music, whatever, they want to be a part of it because they're like, oh, this is like it's so more fulfilling, I think, to do something with a company like that than it is to do like, Warner Brothers and all that, which they all have done. And they're all like either on TV currently or like getting awards or Academy Awards or Grammys and all this shit. And then you go there and it's just like, it humbles everybody so quick, but in the best way.
Oh yeah.
Like it is just like absolutely like ridiculous, like how great that place is.
Yeah.
Just just in case, Mark. I'm just gonna put it over there. I'm not saying we're gonna play it. I'm just gonna say it's over there and like trying to get our viewership up.
I mean, if you guys wanted to play
it is upside down.
It is. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It also might not be tuned, but
well,
are you playing backwards? Like fucking Hendrix over here.
a little.
Now play with your teeth.
Yeah.
Is that the song from Desperado?
Joe's a lefty. That is a righty stringed guitar.
a tiny righty.
Tiny righty.
That's a good tiny righty. Yeah.
It's a tiny
they used to call Eric around the trailer park.
That's a cute little
tiny righty. Tiny righty's back.
Yeah. That's a cute little. I love those Traveler.
Yeah,
Taylors.
once I saw Ed Sheeran playing a small mini Taylor, I'm like, wait, this is like $150, and I don't care if I like bump it or throw it around. Or like, you just,
well, it's the kind that you take on a trip with you when you want to write something, or you just like, you just throw it in the back seat. You know, you're like, I got an idea.
Yeah, because you have a lot of guitars, right?
You just
I do.
Yeah,
I have a lot of guitars, but most of them are still.
What's
at the
your
studio.
favorite guitar right now? Because you've had like 10 favorite guitars when I like.
I think the Les Paul, my maroon Les Paul, the maroon, the wine red Les Paul that I got.
Is that like your end all be all? Like, is that like your your?
Well, it's warm. It's just it's a good balance. It's heavy, but it's not like. Well, my Jackson is my easiest guitar to play. My Randy Rhoads custom.
If you had one guitar that you were out of your collection that you were only to have and play for the rest of your life, which guitar?
It would probably be the Jackson.
Jackson?
I was hoping it was Les Paul.
Just because I love the neck. The neck's real wide, like a classical guitar, and real flat.
kind of like Tony's neck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not a lot of Adams happening here. Yeah.
You have something like a Tony neck?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, no, it's like when I
Full
play
body.
like my Tom Anderson, which is an amazing guitar, beautiful. It's got it's got the piezo pickup in there, so it sounds like an acoustic. If you pull the cord slightly out of the thing, it bypasses the pickups and then just plays. There's a little thin wire that's a pickup underneath the strings. It's called a piezo or piezo pickup, and it just mics the guitar acoustically. So you just pull the cord out a little bit, and it just cuts off the pickups.
Huh.
And then you have voicing switches too. Like, so I have a humbucker, which is like, two pickups and then two singles. And then the switches, I can make every one of those pickups a single. It's like a single coil, like a Stratocaster kind of.
Okay, can you draw that out? Because I'm lost.
We got a whiteboard over here.
Humbucker,
let me
pickups.
let me grab the whiteboard and I'll explain. No,
A bar graph.
yeah. Well, no, that guitar you can. The reason I got that guitar made was because if I was doing a country thing or if I was doing this or a rock song, I still got the humbuckers to do like the big rock fat guitar.
It's like
sound.
the most versatile guitar.
Yeah, and I wanted a real like pretty Strat sound. I just throw it in single coil mode and play that. And if I wanted it to sound acoustic
And you only have one acoustic guitar.
I only have one, yeah.
One acoustic electric,
And
the
one
Taylor.
Yeah, and I have a classical guitar. It's an Oscar Schmidt, left-handed with a cutaway nylon string that I play, and that guitar sounds beautiful plugged in.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
It's really, really. It's a cheap guitar. I bought it because it was left-handed, and then when I asked the price, it was like $100. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like,
what's so funny? Like even now to this day, like if I ever go to a Guitar Center and stuff, and I'm like, I feel really intimidated because I'm like, I'm not a good guitar player, and everyone in here is like super shredder or like know everything about all guitars and gear and all this stuff. And
they're like, well, come over here. This is the Fisher Price section. That's what you're looking for.
It doesn't even have strings. It just has
the buttons. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah.
More Foley.
But then you'd like go over to like, you'd hear somebody play a guitar, like an acoustic guitar or electric guitar or whatever, and then you go hear them play and they would just make it sound like beautiful, like just a piece of shit guitar. Like it's like $100 guitar. They make it just sound like amazing. And then go pick it up, be like, oh man, like what happened? Like,
what am I pushing wrong? What am I doing wrong here?
Did you take something off of this?
Well, it's funny. It's funny that you say that because I just saw an article where Ted Nugent was on tour with Van Halen, and Eddie Van Halen. Ted Nugent came up to Eddie and he's like, dude, your sound is so sick. This is like 1978. Mm-hmm. And, Ted Nugent's playing his big, giant Gibson Birdland, big, thick guitar, like a jazz guitar, basically, playing Great White Buffalo and shit. And, here's Eddie doing Eruption and, Atomic Punk and shit on his rig. And Ted Nugent plugs into Eddie's guitar and he's like, I still sound like me, Ted. Like it doesn't sound like you at all. It just sounds like my rig for me.
Yeah. The first guitar, I probably spent I had a cord cutaway back in the day. It was like the first guitar I bought it used, but then my first guitar that was brand new was a Mitchell guitar, but I bought it because, and I think they might have staged it. They literally had a dude inside that was playing it upside down, and he was like telling me, I would blow about this kind of, and I was like, oh, that's fucking sick. He's like, yeah, I would get like this one if you're gonna get one.
Anybody who plays it just
I'd probably get two of these, whatever.
And he was the guy playing a guitar at Guitar Center, but I ended up buying that and going home, and it still sounded like, Wonderwall.
Guitar can be as simple as you want it or as difficult as you want it because, if you just want to play songs around a campfire, you learn the basic chord structures and you can do that. But if you want to start being real proficient or it depends on what your goal is with guitar. Guitar for me even over the years has changed its role in my life. Years ago, I was a guitar player like shredder, and I wanted to be like a first call session guy that could just come in and do like a bluegrass solo and tear your head off with, technique and ability. But then, I started when I started writing songs with other songwriters, people that really had some clout as songwriters too, I started realizing this stuff it's good. It's good, but there's a million guys that are great like that. Yeah. I want to be a better songwriter. The guitar the technical side of guitar has taken a huge backseat in my life now because I'm
less is more.
Yeah. I'm pursuing writing better songs and it's still nice to have the technical ability when you need it.
Yeah.
It's nice to have it, but it's not what used to be my whole
North Star and
I wanted to be that guy.
Yeah,
I wanted to be that guy.
I had a guitar player who was heavy metal as well, and then he played great acoustic guitar. That's who we started a band together. It was the Mark and Ian thing.
Yeah.
But he would get bored because he wouldn't necessarily sing most of the time. So I would sing and he'd play guitar, but then he'd get bored up there. I would be like, let's just do simple chord progression and have something catchy over it. But then he would get bored because he'd want to fucking dress it up, and he could, but it just wouldn't. It was that's where we kind of clashed for a while trying to find our sound.
See, knowing when to play and when not to play. A good musician is a good listener. It's not always about what to play. It's when not to play sometimes, and just to let the music tell you where it wants to go. Instead of forcing your hand in it. A lot of times
it's easy for me because I can't force my hand in it. It's I'm just gonna play. It's only going one way.
Should I put a capo up higher?
Forces too much. I'm like, man, it'd be cool to play a solo here. I'm just like, just do vocally.
Hey Tony, can you do Foley for a guitar solo?
Can you find some Foley tracks for that guitar?
Why are you dressed like Tony the Tiger still?
They're great.
They're okay.
They're solo.
They're
okay.
They're semi delicious.
This cuts out of like a video clip of like a completely different artist playing a solo. Like it's like a Ted
like
Nugent video.
Yeah, like
I'm like, and then it clips out to like someone.
Or they put your face on a solo, like they just put your head on.
Yeah, it's just all blocky moving around.
Eric Van Halen.
Oh my God.
How did you learn guitar, Joe? Or any instrument?
Self-taught,
for that matter?
really.
Yeah.
Self-taught. I just, well, you know.
Did you ever take like formal lessons?
I took one. I took one lesson. My mom sent me to this woman.
You're like that? I'm good.
Yeah. Well, no. What happened was
I went and learned
all
how
I
to
needed to
shred,
know.
and that's it. It's called a shred doctor. Went there once. He
No, I was
prescribed
playing.
me
Like,
a
I didn't even know.
shred of cylinder.
I swear to God, I'll show you. This is what I did. The first time I ever picked up a guitar, I swear I went like this. I went like.
That's what I did too.
Did you?
Yeah, I swear to God.
No,
I
didn't know what I was doing, but I was. There was a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Yeah, I don't have that at all.
I don't even know if it was tuned.
That's so funny.
Like
you
I
say
just,
that.
I didn't know what it was, and I was just going.
That's exactly what I swear to God.
I believe that.
One of the like most kind of like embarrassing moments I've ever had in my life. My aunt bought me my first guitar. She bought me a electric Squire.
Okay.
Like a Fender
Yeah,
Squire, right?
Fender Squire,
Like,
yeah.
You know, and she's like, "Oh, hey," and I was doing that on it with an amp and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, "Oh," like we had a neighbor over, and she's like, "Eric's playing guitar now. Eric, show him what you can do." And I remember her face after I was doing that. She's like this is fucking horrible. Like this isn't no
Eric's not playing guitar anymore. He's going upstairs to his room.
Like, no, but like not my
think about
mom.
what you did.
Not my mom looking like that. The neighbor lady that was like, my mom was like, "Oh, look, he's playing guitar," and then she was just like, "Oh, well, that's good, great. Yeah,
That is
good
a guitar.
job. Yeah, it's red."
The neighbor's all, yeah, Marianne is breathing too.
All right, well, you might want to.
Well, you
What a
got to
simple
start
accomplishment.
somewhere.
Yeah. But I remember that very, very vividly. Of like that was like, oh yeah.
Well, when I started
play this thing, really.
When I started to teach guitar in Philly as a younger guy, I would watch people, and if they had the aptitude for guitar, I would tell them. And if I thought that they absolutely had no aptitude for it, I would really try to work with them, and then I would.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
No,
You took it out of our mouths.
No,
Thank you,
I
Joe.
would say like it really the bands with piano you just put your hands down and it makes the sound, but with guitar you have to press so hard that it makes a sound or it'll be just muted garbage. And you have to develop the calluses and all that. And when I would see somebody who was really, they wanted to do it, but they just didn't have the aptitude for it. And after a couple of weeks, you'd have to just be like, listen.
Here's a flute.
Yeah. Or no,
ain't
not
for
even
you,
that.
kid.
Like you just say like,
Here's a kazoo.
there's a million things you can do musically, but maybe guitar is not your thing.
Right.
Did you ever try reading?
Yeah.
I'm not really good at reading.
Or there's a million instruments. Even bass is even. If it's really hard to press down on a guitar, it's even harder on a bass in the beginning. But
piano was one thing. Having worked with you for a long time, like that, just producing and stuff. Would be like, and you'd kind of teach me like these are chords, and you can just kind of move them up and down.
Yeah.
And it's like you just basically keep your hands the same way and just kind of
you
move
just
around.
find-
You're like, oh shit, I'm making music.
I literally learned like Foley.
That's me.
insert Foley.
I had my first lesson. I went to like a guitar lesson guy in Michigan, and it was like E minor, and it was like down, down, up, down, down, and like after the hour or 30 minutes for like $100, I was like, fuck this. And then later on, the church that my family would go to. Pastor Martin, he would play guitar and like sing on and that's why I was like, I love church. It's music and it's fun to go to. I look forward to it. So then he would teach me to play guitar. He'd be like, what song do you want to learn? And I'd be like, I'll be Edwin McCain, and then he would find the easiest way to play it, and I would learn that way.
Joe for me. That was Joe all the time.
So once I started doing that, I was like, then it got exciting for me to learn.
Yeah.
And then piano. The only time I ever learned piano, I was like a YouTube video of How to Save a Life by The Fray.
Oh yeah.
and that's still the only song I know on piano. So I'll go look for, if I'm gonna buy a keyboard, if there's a keyboard at someone's house or like at the mall or something, I'll be playing that, and people are like, wow, that's good. What else do you know? I'm like, I don't want to play too much right now.
I don't like to brag.
I don't want to give away the whole thing.
Mark, do you play
all my
that?
secrets at once here.
You ever played that piano at LAX?
There's a piano at LAX.
I
saw
the baggage claim. There's a piano, like a grand piano, just chilling
yeah.
there. Like you're welcome to play it and stuff like that. And I'm always like, I don't know how to play it, but when I learn, I'm gonna be right here. Just
I wonder how many like big time celebrities
I was
have
just
sat
thinking
down
that
and
too.
played that. You know, at
Probably
LAX.
a lot.
Yeah, probably.
Last time I was there, John Legend was on it, so no,
Yeah.
Alicia Keys over there.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Just waiting for my bags.
Yeah. A little matinee while you're waiting for your bag in the terminal.
Right.
Here it comes. John Legend, that was great. Thank you, by the way. That was,
I'm out. Thank you.
That does happen though. That's like the crazy thing. It's like living in this weird little fantasy world out here that we're like, I remember one New Year's, Tony's like, hey, you want to go to this New Year's Eve party? It's like a bar. And I'm like, all right, cool. And they're like, all right, coming out is Macy Gray. She's singing her. I'm like, what? Like Macy Gray's singing New Year's. She's bringing in the New Year's with us, and it was like a small bar.
Try to say goodbye.
It is her. Yeah, it was like I was like, what the? Where the fuck do I live? Like,
Yeah,
what is
I know
this?
it's
So
surreal
weird.
sometimes. I know me and Ling one time we were just taking a walk and we went to this in Toluca Lake. We went to this open house, and my aunt was there. My mom they wanted to go in this house. They said, that house is beautiful. Let's go in, take a look at it. So I said, yeah, let's go. You know, so we walk in, and the people showed us the whole house, beautiful home, and they're like, oh yeah, Steve Carell lives right across the street. He bought that house from us because they were the realtors. We got the house with him, and so Ling and I were at Priscilla's, and we took a walk through the neighborhood, which we always did, just to walk off the calories we ate or drank.
Calories in, calories out.
That's
people.
it. That's it. People
Law of
remember that.
thermodynamics. All right.
Yeah, that's it. That's how you lose weight.
VeggieDumb.com.
Yeah. Shameless plug.
Yeah.
But we were walking, and on that street, I said, remember that house? That's the house we went to with my Aunt Kay and everybody. And she's like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And Steve Carell was getting out of his car, and he's taking the kids out of the car, and he says hi to Ling and me, and we're like, hey, how you doing? And Ling doesn't know who he is. And then we go to the movies. This was like on a Thursday, like Saturday night comes rolling around, and we go to the movies, and there's this giant poster, Dinner for Schmucks, you know, and Steve, and Ling turns around, and she's like, that's the guy that was taking the kids out of the car. I said, yeah. She's like, oh my God! She doesn't know, a lot of American like celebrities. So
Yeah, that's it.
it was funny watching Ling, like look at that
like,
poster. She's
Like
like,
you see her connect the dots. Like,
yeah,
you're like,
it was crazy, you know.
Funny.
Yeah, it's weird when you first start seeing celebrities. I worked at Buca de Beppo, and I was a host. And I remember there was one time David Hasselhoff comes in.
Yeah.
He literally had a shirt that said "Don't hassle the Hoff" and like a sport
hilarious.
coat over.
That's
pretty
But the crazy, so I'm a host. I just stay up front or whatever.
It's almost how you want them to see him the first time.
Exactly. And so then he's at this big party, maybe like 15, 20 people. And halfway through the dinner, this guy goes into diabetic shock. And he runs to the front and he's like, hey, call 911. Somebody's going to diabetic shock. And I'm like reaching for the phone to call 911.
Like, easy, Baywatch.
But I was like, shouldn't you know what to do?
Yeah.
I'm like,
where's Kobe?
You're a lifeguard, for God's sakes.
Got his little lifeguard. Like,
Resuscitate.
He throws one of those fucking orange like where the you had that on you?
always have it on me. Yeah, but that was like the first celebrity moment, but it was also like very surreal and then also on
That's
brand.
super surreal. Yeah.
Yeah, when I worked at West LA Music, when I first came here, like I didn't know. The only person I actually knew was Maria Van Peebles, who's Mario Van Peebles' mother. I met her in North Carolina. She was friends with my aunt. She was friends with my aunt's friend, Sarah. And she came to visit one time, and she said to me, if you ever come out to LA, come look me up. I'd love to, take you around and whatever. So like 2 years later, I end up moving here. So I call her and I said, hey, Maria, I'm moving to LA. She's like, come right here to my house. And she gave me the address.
Oh, wow.
And me and Brent, the guy who I moved out here with, she's like,
It was your Tony.
Yeah, my Tony, right? Yeah, Brent, my Tony, my personal Tony.
Big Foley artist.
Great with sound effects.
Terrible at broken glass.
Great with sound effects. Yeah, does a terrible elephant though. I'm sorry.
That's a terrible elephant. That's such like the best stupid fucking career to like tell people you're out here and just watch their face and be like, what? Really? And just like if you can keep a straight face, it's fucking so fun.
Oh my god.
This is rip paper.
Yeah. Okay, well, good. Yeah, 'cause he's a nice guy, you know. I don't know. Yeah.
You got a chance, kid.
I think you got it. I think you could do this.
I think it's funny that Mario Van Peebles' mom's name is Maria. It's like the closest offshoot, the male version of
And then the father's Melvin.
That's funny.
You know, remember the movie The Watermelon Man? Do you remember that?
Never
movie?
heard of that.
Okay, it's a racist man. He wakes up and he's black. He's a white racist man. He wakes up and he's black.
It's like the
Mario's
original
father wrote
Bigsby.
Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah, Clayton Bigsby.
And Maria's in that movie, by the way.
No way.
Yeah, and Mario's got a sister too. I don't know her name. I can't.
Mariana
Probably
Van Peebles.
I forget.
Marioa.
Marietta.
I always find it funny because I name my son after myself, and then when you hear other people name them, kids after themselves, but it's always interesting when women name a child after themselves because it's so uncommon in the world. I have my stepmom's daughter's name's Joy and Joyette. I'm like, Joyette, that's so fucking white trashy to name your daughter after yourself. It's so fucking. Meanwhile, my son's named Anthony Robert Klein II.
Well, I'm Joe Seabe the Third. I mean,
Really?
that's
cool.
That sounds very
I'm a junior.
Yeah.
You are?
Are you junior?
Mark Allen Rodriguez Jr.
Junior.
Yeah.
Junior sounds more like a baseball thing, and like the third and like the second and all that.
Yeah.
It's more like
Christy,
medieval
we're
times.
classy.
Yeah.
It's like you should feel
Royalty.
like everyone should like bow or something. When you enter
I was
the room.
almost John, and then my mom.
That's what we should introduce.
I was
Yeah.
almost John as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my cousin was named John, so that took it off the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Like,
made
how
them-
about Jark?
Did I tell you that story last time? I had one of my.
That gonna work? Can we do that? No one's signing off on that. Jark.
It was literally. I think I told you guys that last time. It was like what my I got a bad review when I was a waiter, and it was like, and I won't say any names, but it rhymes with smark. Yeah. I was like,
Wasn't me. Wasn't me.
Oh my God! Rhymes with
Smark Jr.
Smart was terrible. Terrible job.
It's very clear that Smark didn't give a fuck.
Smart gave 0 fucks.
minus fucks, actually.
Minus fucks. Negative fucks given.
Oh
by
my
Smart.
God, that's so funny. But yeah, when I first came here, Maria put me to work. I was actually running Mario's house for him. I was just paying the bills and cleaning the pool and just doing various odd jobs around the house.
So you were Mario Van Peebles' pool guy?
Not the pool guy.
Say that 4 times
but,
fast.
Yeah, pool guy. Mario Van Peebles pool guy. Maria was so sweet, and Mario, what a sweetheart of a guy he is. But you put them together, they were just,
They're like throwing plates and shit against the wall.
So you around.
Hey, Joe.
Mario.
Wait. So Mario Van Peebles' mom wasn't dropping him off at his gigs?
No. And
Mario, I forgot your meatballs.
But me and Brent would be we'd be at the house and we'd be having a ball with Mario, and then Maria would come in, and we love Maria and we love Mario, but when you put them together, it was like a chemical reaction. They were just so.
It sounds like most relationships.
Yeah, I mean, it was just really,
Oh,
and
she's home.
yeah, yeah,
Jesus. Fucking
yeah.
start breaking bottles and shit. God damn it.
But we would leave and go back to our apartment, and Brent would go, dude, all that money, that beautiful house, no.
And they're just fucking angry.
It's so, yeah, it was just
Like a
so
bad
And
energy.
I'm not bad mouthing either of them because they're both. Well, I think Maria's
There's a
passed
fine line, I
away.
think, between shooting the shit and or talking shit to your significant other, and then having that kind of relationship that you're kind of
That's his
referencing
mom,
of Oh yeah, right. Or like, I still, shoot the shit or talk shit to my mom, but we like laugh about it, Like we disagree on a lot of things, but we still are like, yeah, whatever, you're fucking nuts. Yeah, no, you're fucking nuts. All right, I love you. We're both nuts, whatever.
We're both crazy.
Yeah, you kind of had that kind of thing, but like those relationships where they are like, you can tell there's like fucking like resentment and anger and shit there. Like that's like a different level of like.
Well, Mario's like real happy-go-lucky. He's just like a big kid. He really is. And, and he's got several kids with several different women. And his mother would just be like, she would call them leeches.
Oh, Jesus.
Those leeches.
What a great grandma.
All they want is your money. And
Christmas comes around.
Leeches want
Okay,
some more
leech
gifts
number
this
3.
year.
Get your present, leech number 3.
Yeah.
But like,
It's like some weird Dr. Seuss shit. Instead of thing 1, thing 2, it's leech 1, leech 2.
She's all like fucking Dumb and Dumber. Here you go. Here you go.
Get out of here, you little leech.
Yeah.
but when we first got here, like Mario's career was like doing pretty well. He was like, he was Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali with Will Smith. And I'll never forget this because there was people downstairs. I don't know if Will was down there, but a lot of people from the movie. The movie wasn't filmed yet. And Mario was upstairs where me and Brent were. And he's pacing the floor. And he's looking like he's like going to lose his marbles. And I was like, Mario, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? And he's like, dude, you realize I'm representing somebody in my culture who's like a fucking icon.
Yeah.
Malcolm X, dude. I'm playing fucking Malcolm X.
Yeah.
And I said, Mario, how many movies have you been in? He's like, I don't know, 20. How many have you produced? New Jack City, this one, that one,
Yeah.
I said, dude, it's just another gig.
Right.
I said, just do you being that,
Yeah.
And like, I swear to God, we were like, me and Brent were like literally trying to talk him off the ledge because he was like literally like having an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
Up there. I'm like, go downstairs and just be you. Don't worry about it. I you know what? They picked you for this.
Yeah.
Obviously, they like you. Obviously, and we're just trying to reason with them, like
Yeah, I think everybody gets in their head.
Yeah.
No matter what point of your career
Yeah.
or whatever you're doing, like you get in your own head, and that's like the worst. Your own mind is your worst enemy a lot of times with a lot of things or anything in
Yeah.
life. More than anything that anybody could say or do, it's like you kind of fighting those battles.
Yeah.
Not to say that I go through that on a daily basis. I'm just saying, don't have
Totally
experience
fine,
with
yeah.
that, but just it's just fucking one
But-
of those things.
But I thought it would be better that he talked to us about it rather than his mom, because it was just like I could just see that conversation going south real quick.
She's like, I'm glad you brought that up because you're not good enough to play Malcolm.
Off camera, Mike. Would you be able to grab me another?
Wait, should we just
Modelo?
cut? I mean, we're over time, huh? Should we?
Yeah, we can wrap it. We can
Wrap it up.
Wrap.
Yeah.
Anything want to plug? Well, let's do a
Ease into the end.
Yeah, well,
Jake.
yeah.
Okay.
You got a
Okay.
fucking-
All right.
You got a hot date? You're fucking.
No, I
just
just.
What do you have, a child or something?
Yeah.
Mike, in that case, I'll take one more.
He's been
of
in
those
the car
too.
for only an hour and
We'll
a
take
half right now.
get 3 more of those, please.
Car's
sir.
still running, actually.
Yeah.
Off camera, Mike over there. Thank you very much.
Car's running. He's got the car.
By the way, let me give a shout out to Mike Gentile, our off-camera friend, the best house guest you'll ever have.
Yeah.
If you need a clock
California
set,
native, knows all the best sandwich places in here. This guy will he will go get fresh bread, fresh sandwiches. He folds the blankets you give him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
he
there's
is the
never-
model. He is the model
Damn.
house guest.
Isn't that
always down
nice?
for a good time.
I love a good, like afterwards the pillows and the blankets are folded up. You're like,
It's okay. I got you some meat and some deli sandwiches and all that.
Oh yeah.
Fucking,
One of the first times he came and visited us, he reset all of our clocks because we hadn't set our clocks. From
That's
the
why he's
time
out here right now.
Yeah, he's out here every year to reset.
And daylight savings. Thank you.
Yeah, like he reset all the clocks for us. He got us like sandwiches from the deli. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like, that's how like
You're a good person and a good house. A good house guest. That's
oh my God,
wonderful.
but beyond good. I was like, man, I feel like cheated my whole life. Anytime anybody crashed on the couch or fucking, stayed
Like,
over.
we need
our
one
place.
more of those after that one. 2 more. Okay.
I've spent a
do you
night.
think you
I
can
spent
set a
enough
clock
nights
for-
on your couch.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
You
goodness.
know what though? I'm done in my life as far as being the guest in the house. Like that before I'm like, no, I gotta have my own place.
Yeah.
Myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that way you don't have to get up early like everyone else and be like, I how'd you sleep?
Morning conversations.
Or you have anxiety.
Place. I'm just saying, your place was great, but it's like,
Yeah, like if you have a sleepover when you're a kid and then you're like the first one up and you're like have anxiety about being the first guy up and you're like, shit, I gotta talk to his parents or this person's parents. Or like if they come down or like what the schedule's like, and then I'm like, what do I do now? I'm just fucking waiting out
Pretend I'm asleep.
you're just like waiting out the clock till like everyone else wakes up. You're like, when the fuck do people wake up around here? Like,
It's my liaison gonna wake up.
Like, do I wake up real early? Do they wake up real late? Am I wrong? Are they right? Like, what's going on?
where you got now only women do this. I know it sounds sexist, but only women slam cupboards. In the morning, like they have at 6 o'clock in the morning. Let's see.
Yeah.
Get a cup of coffee from that.
Tony, can you give us a cupboard sound? It's a glass cupboard.
That was killer. I was.
Glass breaking on linoleum floor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. That's a challenge.
Thank you very much.
I think Tony's up
Mike.
for it. I think Tony's up for that challenge.
Oh yeah, he's got it
Mike,
covered.
why don't you get yourself one of those beers? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you so much, Mike.
I can have one too, right?
Yeah, you can have.
I want to tell a quick story for everyone that if you don't know. Mike and I have known each other since freshman year of high school. We worked at the same grocery store together, right? Mm-hmm. Mike, can I tell the caravan story?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Mike, Mike is the car guy. I'm a big car guy.
Yes.
Mike fucking
you're the car guy.
Mark is. Mike is the biggest car. We used to call him car man. Fucking knows everything about cars.
Anytime that either of us were thinking about getting a car, I'd be like, did you call Mike yet? What does he think? He's the guy.
But
that
also
you
is
go
a big
to
fan
for
of
that.
driving. He's a big driver. Loves driving to the canyons out here. It's a big thing he does when he comes to visit and stuff. But when we were kids and his parents left town, Mike took his parents' caravan out. So he had the keys. He picks me up. We're driving around. And I don't know where you left me, but it was you and Will Alba. Who was it? When you lost control off of the observatory. You're flying down.
Mario? Start putting people in your story.
It was Maria and Mario Van Peebles.
Which one it was, but we had a Dodge Caravan and Will had a Plymouth Voyage.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I don't know what time. I don't know which one you're talking about. What
How about-
situation?
I believe it was you that was flying down the road and you lost control of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I was with Will.
Okay.
He was driving. I was supposed to be driving.
Will's the asshole.
Mike and I
Fucking Will.
test drove a Buick GS. It was really cool. It was about 71, 72. It was fucking cool. It was 72 Buick GS.
I knew
like
it was Will.
yellow and white. Fucking, I've always been a big classic GM car guy. So me and Mike, I was thinking about, we did a test drive, but we were still like, teenagers and shit. And this guy was
My
like,
neighbor across the street.
yeah, we might have been 16. This guy was like 18, trying to sell his car to us, and he fucking starts trying to show off. He wouldn't let us drive it because we weren't old enough, so he's trying to show off the power that it has. And he loses control of the car and fucking, I don't know if he fishtailed or what he popped a tire or some shit, but he fucks the car up on his test drive. He's trying to sell us the car, and he goes, "Aw, suck."
Oh no!
What are your parents around? Aw, suck. You didn't say, this is the perfect time to say fuck.
Yeah, right.
Ah,
He made a
suck.
right-
You
he
don't
made a
replace
right-hand
that word.
Yeah.
He stomped on it to lay rubber.
Yeah.
Got it to come out, but it was too much, and it came all the way around, and it went sideways over the median and popped 2 times.
Yeah. yeah.
my
And
that's
on the
yeah.
island.
Yeah,
On 2 fucking wheels. The guy goes, "Aw, suck."
And even though our lives flashed before our eyes, Mike and I just looked like, "Oh, suck! What the fuck? What kind of fucking shit is that?"
I envision that scene in Big Lebowski where he's driving down the alleyway and he hits the
dumpster,
garbage
yeah.
dumpster and just kind of like plops up and then flashes down.
Is that
Yeah.
later on when you and him took off and I waited by the car, the police came and they thought I was driving, and some fucking piece of shit that saw it all happen in the car, in another car, stopped to tell the police officer what an asshole.
Oh no!
If we were scot-free,
I
man.
was riding in the fucking back
He
seat,
did it,
but
yeah.
Everybody thought I was driving and did that. I'll never forget that. I was totally on my own. By the time you got back, I had to tell you what happened.
Joe, I have a special guest.
Okay.
That
They've been in the bathroom over there for the last hour. And
Oh, wow.
come on out. What's up, Ruben? Ruben's back. Ruben, Joe Seabe's in the house.
Oh my God, Ruben!
Joe.
What's up, brother?
Let me take the this off. There you go.
What the hell? Oh, hey, Joe.
Ruben, I miss you, brother. How you doing, man?
Getting old.
All of us, man.
Aren't we all? Yeah.
Every day.
Man, everybody there looks too young.
How you doing, man?
We just had we saw Joe for the first time in ages, and we're just catching up. We phoned a friend. We were leaning heavily on Tony to like end the podcast, right? But he couldn't come up with something good, so we had to phone in Ruben. And Ruben was at a casino, and everyone.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
Ruben!
randomly in a casino.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm there all the time.
But still delivered the best wisdom. Ruben always has the best.
Ruben always drops the best wisdom.
He's got
He
the
does.
knowledge, bro.
Ruben,
I
when can
know
you
he
come out and be a
does.
guest on the pod?
I don't even know what I said last time.
You said when you're something about bet big when you're.
Yeah, like it was a great analogy.
Oh, all right. Yeah. How about this? If you're gonna smoke cigars and drink whiskey, do it when you're celebrating, because otherwise you're just killing yourself.
Oh, there you go.
See,
All right.
always has the knowledge.
Put the cigar out then.
Takes hit of cigar.
Yeah, right. We're all like,
Just start smoking.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Man. Well,
How you guys doing?
Good, man.
We're good.
Missing you.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
bad.
dude, you got to come back to LA, do the podcast.
I gotta come out there.
Hell yeah,
when,
you do.
Come on out, man.
Yeah, we got to have you on the pod, man. The Eric and Tony show.
What are you guys doing exactly? You know? 'Cause,
We don't
That's
know.
a good question.
I ask that every Saturday.
We wish we knew. We're just contributing to the craziness.
There wasn't
and
enough podcasts, so we
Yeah.
figured we'd make one. And
Yeah.
here it is.
That's
Hell
it.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate you calling back, man. It was a nice surprise. I can always pull
know.
Ruben out of the pocket and be like, and
I was gonna ignore your call, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call back.
did you think we were going to be on the podcast? Did you think we were going to be on the podcast?
I don't know what the hell you do, man.
Ruben's ready for any situation.
One day
Shit.
on
Ruben,
the
I
podcast-
fucking love you, and I appreciate you always being like,
I
just
know.
you're always a down for the cause
Yeah,
guy.
he
Yeah, dude,
is,
he's
man.
solid guy. Solid guy.
Listen, if this guy Mark calls me, I don't know if he's on a podcast or if I don't know if he's landing in JFK like that.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Fucking surprising me. Hey, can you come pick me up?
Yeah, Ruben showed me his school that him and Daryl went to, the
That's
old
not
neighborhood. It was
convenient.
dope.
That's awesome.
But yeah, he is always down. Literally, there was SantaCon going on in New York, and he couldn't get to me because there was a million people dressed like Santa Claus.
Oh my
So
God.
he was like, the cops were like, "You gotta get the fuck out of here." He's like, "I'm waiting for my friend." And
But
here
you're
I'm
not
running.
Santa Claus, though.
Listen, it's Santa Con for
Yo,
God's
bro,
sakes.
I got SantaCon
What
going
are you
on
dressed
right
as
now.
Kris Kringle?
I'm a different animal in New York, yo.
He is full Ruben.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We should actually all go out
We
there.
should go to.
We
That'd be
should.
fucking
Watch out, Ruben. We're coming to you. We're
Yeah, we
calling
might
you.
come to you, buddy. We might get a phone call from all four of us.
Ruben stayed at your place when I was there.
Exactly.
Yeah, Ruben.
Yeah.
Ruben was
Remember Mike?
You know, we could always go to Philly. We could always go to my mom's, and then New York's only an
Pull
hour
over.
and 20 minutes.
All right.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's set in stone. We're going.
We got options.
Well, let us know when you can come out here, but we'll plan a trip that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be fun, man.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for always the
Love you,
the
Ruben.
wise
Love
advice.
you,
Miss
brother.
you, brother.
Ruben.
Take care, y'all.
Yeah,
Love you,
man.
man.
You
Buddy.
too.
Hey, great album selection in the back, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no man, I got. The
Yeah.
show.
Oh shit! I only
If
saw
you
a
need
little bit.
music,
Man.
MF.
Ruben's got
Yeah.
you covered. Ruben's
hell
like
yeah.
he's more of like a music dealer than what you were to me.
All
Like,
right,
he's
that's
like,
enough, Eric. I'm gonna.
And
Ruben knows what's up.
Yeah, he does.
There he does.
all right, brother. Well, let's
Yeah.
chat soon, man.
All right, peace, yo.
All right, later.
That was our very popular Ruben segment.
That was great.
He's been on 2 podcasts now.
yeah.
He's such a great guy, man. He is.
Have to put his name on.
You should call it
And
Wrapping It Up with Ruben.
rapping with Ruben.
And with
That's
that being said,
sex advice.
as every podcast ends, I have to take a piss like you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's why you're trying
Tonight
to
on
wrap
the
it
guest,
up.
we have Dr. Ruth Westheimer and Ruben.
Ruben will drop a gem on us.
We're wrapping it up.
Let's wrap it up.
Officially wrapping it up.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, thanks again for watching the Eric and Tony podcast, the Eric and Tony Show. I'm Eric. You can find me at Adventure Dome, Audio Underdog. Just Google's the name Eric Rustler. You can find anything on there about me. We have Joe Seabe over here. Where they can find you? Studio West.
Not on Facebook.
Right now, not on Facebook right now because I'm in Facebook jail. But
the Facebook link at the moment.
Yeah, I'm in the Facebook link. But you can find me. Well, I don't have anything to promote right now, but
Performing Arts Studio West.
Performing Arts Studio West. Yeah, that's always my.
But you're on Instagram though, right, Joe?
I am on Instagram, but I don't have many posts. But I have a TikTok account too. That I'm on
Also has no
TikTok.
posts.
So got some new songs up on TikTok. So give it a listen.
Yeah, listen to Joe.
Joe Seabe / TikTok. I guess that's what it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Joe Seabe. Just type Joe Seabe in.
Seabe, everybody.
Type Performing Arts Studio West. You'll find him. They'll give you more information if you want to get in contact with him or work with him. He's an amazing artist, and we're really happy to have had him on the podcast.
Yeah, great to see you.
Thanks for having me, you guys. I love you, and thank you just
love you
for
too,
even
man.
thinking about me, man. I appreciate it.
And thanks for being on it.
Always,
I love
man.
you too.
Thank you.
I'm Tony Klein at Tony Klein Comedian at Instagram and all the other social medias. TonyKleinComedian.com.
If you need to hit him up for some Foley work,
Yeah, I
some
got
Yeah.
when he kind of that's a jet
Marvel
that was a
movies
free
are coming
jet
out, like,
sound effect, yeah.
If you want to cast me in some wrestling pictures, I'm your guy, Barton Fink, #1 wrestling pictures.
Always ready with wristbands. That's part of his.
That's it.
need to loan out
Yeah.
wristbands.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got the black
Me too.
velvet wristbands.
I'm in the
Yeah.
wristband club. You can contact Joe Seabe or Eric Russell for wristband.
Yeah, I'm on
rentals.
this kick. I don't know why.
I like
just
it.
like yeah.
I like
Thanks.
it.
Evens out the arms.
And I'm Mark Rodriguez TV everywhere or Mastermind Media. That's MYND. But yeah, this was great, man.
Man,
So
the myth legend.
It was.
Thank you
It
again,
is.
Mark. Always a
pleasure.
pleasure.
Thank you
Good
so
times,
much, you guys.
All right, hey.
Yeah.
Another one in the bag.
Cheers.
Everybody. Cheers and beers.
Cheers to you too, Mike.
There you go, man. Thank you.
Special shout out to Mike Gentile on the couch.
Ruben in New York.
And if anyone ever needs a good house guest, boom, that's your guy right
Boom.
there.
Call Mike Gentile. Greatest house, or any questions about a car, if
Yeah.
you may or may not want to purchase it, that's your man.
Yeah.
We'll leave a link in the description below.
Leave the link in the description below. Oh my
Do the
God, that
honors,
was
Tony.
fun, you
Do the
guys.
honors.